Welcome back, my name is LastKnownMeal, and today I'm going to talk about Cyberpunk 2077. Well, I'm going to talk about the multiplayer segment of the game, because every single time I talk about Cyberpunk in general, I talk about the single player and all the features it could have, but I've been always skipping this multiplayer part because we've been having zero information about it. We know that Cyberpunk is going to offer some form of multiplayer, but we have no idea what's it gonna be. So I'm going to use this video to talk about the latest leaks that are basically around the multiplayer segment of Cyberpunk, but keep in mind those are leaks and nothing of this has been confirmed, and give you my idea of what I think a good multiplayer would be in a game like Cyberpunk, which is mostly single player, because we can open up a nice discussion in the comments and see like what people want, what people dislike when it comes to multiplayers, because the number one fear people have in 2017 when it comes to single player games having multiplayer segments are loot boxes and microtransactions, which make it kinda annoying, because honestly, if I purchase a game like a €60 or a $60 game, I don't want to buy other stuff with real money that I will use in a single player game, because god damn it, I paid for a full price, I expect a full game. But honestly, what I've been seeing with CDPR so far, I don't think their politics, their business politics are going in that way. So I don't believe that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to feature loot boxes that are going to be mandatory for you to advance in the game, because what you've seen so far, especially when it comes with The Witcher 3, we've been having so many free DLCs for that game, and also all the DLCs, expansions that they released, the Blood and Wine, and were so good. They were like a full-priced game with the amount of content, for example, that expansion had. So I don't think their business politics are going to go in that way, and we're going to have loot boxes in Cyberpunk 2077, which is going to be used in the multiplayer segment of that game. Now, the number one leak we've been having when it comes to multiplayer is the social hub. Basically, you've been playing Call of Duty World War II, you probably heard about headquarters, and basically that is like area that you can interact with other players, compete with them, and blah blah blah. So having something like that in Cyberpunk 2077 could be a great idea. Now keep in mind, this is just a leak, nothing of this has been confirmed, but if we're going to discuss something like a social hub where you will be able to interact with other players, talk with them, compete with them, or maybe even do some trading, that would be kinda cool, because my idea of a multiplayer in Cyberpunk 2077 is something like we've had in The Division, where you have one area, for example in Cyberpunk it can be the combat zone, where you can go with your friends or other players and just do different missions in that area, and the area itself is going to be more challenging if you have more people with you. So maybe even turn a combat zone, because it's a perfect name, it's a perfect area. Maybe turn a combat zone into something of a PvP area that you will be able to compete with other players. So basically like in The Division, where you can hunt other people that have gone rogue, etc, etc, and still do missions, and basically just add more depth to it than The Division had. It would be kinda cool. Now also implementing something of a co-op in a single player game would be cool, because if you've been playing, for example, a certain mission in the single player and you want your friend to help you, you want to, you know, play with your friend, then he can join in, you can go and do those missions and have some fun in the night city. That would be cool to see. That co-op slash PvP zone would be really fitting for this game in my opinion, but people are generally concerned that they're just going to try and force this multiplayer part on you, which I think is, it's probably not going to happen, because previous CDPR games were single player, and implementing something like this could be a great optional thing in my opinion, because what I've seen so far, Cyberpunk is going to be mostly like 80% a single player, fully like immersive RPG experience, where you will be able to create your own character, and you will shape your character as you want to shape your character. You can decide if you're going to be good, bad, neutral, and how will you make decisions. It's all up to you. So just adding a multiplayer segment to this is a good thing, but it's a great thing if it's an optional thing. So if I want to go to a social hub, interact with other players, compete in some things, it would be cool. If I want to call my friend for him to join my game so we can have some fun in the night city, do some missions, do some side things, that would be cool to see. And then on the same time, going into a place like Combat Zone or whatever, and just having fun there against other players, competing missions, and getting better loot could be really, really nice. But I just don't want that to turn into a farming simulator where I have to go again and again and again to get the loot that I want to have. So again, I don't want Cyberpunk to become Destiny. It's not that I have anything against Destiny, it's just, it's going to be a different game. It's going to be mostly a single player game with a multiplayer, segments that are going to be optional. And that is what I think about it. So again, when it comes to microtransaction loot boxes, I don't think it's going to be a major part in this game. If it's going to be in the game, there is a huge possibility we're not going to have those things, because, as I said, the politics of CDPR is not going in that direction, and they're not really money hungry, and they would rather give you some free stuff and rather create content which is, when you pay for something, you're like, this definitely deserves my money. They're definitely going in that direction because it's a good PR marketing strategy, because when you like something, for example, the things you enjoyed in The Witcher 3, you're going to tell your friend, he's going to tell his friends, it's going to be all over the news, and it's going to be good for the company. It's a good PR. So they're probably going to go in that direction mostly, rather than just putting out, loot boxes and that kind of stuff. So I don't think it's going to happen anyway. So we talked about the multiplayer a bit. I gave you my idea of a multiplayer in Cyberpunk 2077. What I want to see are your comments. I want to see, what do you think about this? Do you have any alternatives for the multiplayer? Are you participating in the multiplayer segments of this game? Because it's definitely going to prolong the length of the game, the lifespan of the game, because once you finish the game, you can go and play with your friends, you can go do some PvP in the combat zone or whatever. It definitely will stick you with the game a lot longer than just having a single player, but still, I don't want the multiplayer to be forced down upon us, which is probably not going to happen. So I wouldn't be afraid for that. Now, they also said they're going to start releasing some more info soon. That is confirmed. That's not a speculation. That is actually what I talked in my previous Cyberpunk video / The Witcher video. But anyway, we're going to get a lot of information soon, so maybe then we're going to have a general idea on how this game is going to look like, and also like how the multiplayer is going to be implemented in this game. And I also saw like recently, like an hour ago, they're looking for a vehicle designer, someone who's going to take care of the vehicles in the game. I'm not a developer, I don't know those terms. So again, it's going to be a live city with a lot of vehicles, and I already talked that there is a huge possibility we're going to have drivable vehicles in the game, because hey, we gotta get to point A to point B. We had Roach, so maybe in Cyberpunk we're going to have a car or something like that. I have no idea, but it sounds fun. Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell me down in the comments what you think about this. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button for more content. When they start releasing more content, I will talk about it. Don't worry. This is LastKnownMeal signing out, and stay classy everyone. Bye bye.